This is TWiT.
TWiT kind of keeps up in the latest enterprise news, and we keep reporting this week after week around the Infinity crypto flaws. And it seems that the flaw is finally reached farther into the industry. How far? Well, the vulnerability now exposes smart cards, security tokens, TPM chips, Wi-Fi, and other secure hardware chips made by Infineon. At first, it was just a flaw in the chip, but now there's an attack that actually happened due to the flaw, dubbed a factorization attack by the Center for Research of Cryptography. It would be feasible for a hacker to compute the private part of an encryption key using only the key's public part. The researchers, led by Petr Zvenda, I'm not going to even pronounce that right, of Masaryk University in Czech Republic, found that this issue can actually be very easy. The flaw resided in the crypto library used by Infineon within an algorithm that is used to generate large prime numbers, which are then paired. Infineon used a simplified system for generating these prime numbers called Fast Prime that had been officially certified, but no mathematical weaknesses were found during the certification process, the company said. So this crippling flaw in the widely used code library has fatally undermined the security of millions of encryption keys it used in the highest stake settings, including national identity cards, software and application signing, and TPM or trusted platform modules protecting government and corporate computers. So the weakness also allows attackers to calculate the private portion of any vulnerable key using the nothing more than a corresponding public portion. Hackers can then use the private key to impersonate key owners, decrypt sensitive data, sneak malicious code and digitally signed software, and bypass protections that prevent accessing or tampering with stolen PCs. The 5-year-old flaw is also troubling because it's located in code that complies with 2 internationally recognized security certification standards that are binding on many government contractors, companies worldwide. The flaw left 750,000 digital identity cards issued by Estonia is vulnerable to attack, the government of the East European country that has been pioneered of e-government since last month. This past week, Estonian authorities said they're taking preventative measures to fix it. Other companies like Microsoft included are updating firmware that runs on Infineon's so-called trusted platform modules to address the security flaws in the release patches. But there's also many other companies that are also putting out patches as well. So, Gbert, is this just proof that we need to continue to do kind of these edge type testing where we just need to pound even some of the certifications that are out there around security to see if we find flaws? I mean, this security research firm is finding these things. Google is finding these things. Do we need to just do more of this so we can make sure that we harden the certifications and things that are out there today? Or what's the fix for this?
Yeah, I totally agree. We need organizations. We need young talent like JJ in the chat room that's willing to go and pound on these things and find the flaws. The reality is the algorithm itself isn't flawed. The entire algorithm. What's flawed is basically the quick prime portion. How they're well, I don't want to call it a shortcut because it really wasn't. It is a faster way of creating large prime numbers, which is absolutely essential as part of the crypto process. The reality is we're all human. Coders are human. When you start talking about millions or tens of millions of lines of code, especially when you're starting to talk about code that has to be really optimized, because nobody wants to wait 10 minutes for an SSL HTML, encrypted web page to load. That's just unreasonable. So we need it fast. We want it fast as a consumer, but there's some compromises, and the quick prime was one of those compromises. So yeah, we need testing. We need more talent. We need more universities, like, say, JJ was talking about Augusta. In fact, sorry, I forgot to put the announcement. Augusta's master's program in cybersecurity got approved by their board of regents. Woohoo! We need organizations like that to go and keep, the extra set of eyes, more eyes on the problem, to find the issues, help fix them before they get onto the wild. And that's what I'm really happy about. This is not in the wild, quote, yet. It's been around a long time, but they haven't found, nobody's had documentation, or I haven't seen any documentation about a hack that utilizes this out in the wild yet. So good, we've got time to fix. I've gotten tons of emails from Wi-Fi vendors, even from Apple, saying, we know about crack. We know about this. We're fixing it. You know, Apple's going to be releasing another version of iOS very, very quickly. It's going to fix on the crack vulnerability on the client side. Most of the Wi-Fi vendors have all released patches already. I got to imagine what they're doing is they're bypassing the quick prime, and they're going and using a longer method to calculate the primes. You know, heck, you know, primes and random numbers are the bread and butter. You know, I love what Silicon Graphics did, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago. They actually had a webcam pointed at a bank of lava lamps to generate random numbers. That was very cool. Anyway, yeah, it can be fixed. We need more eyes on it. That's my rant.
I think another thing I'm wondering about, I don't see a lot of this actually, is the fact that companies are not putting out, you know, bug bounties like they did before. You know, like, for instance, you hear a lot about hackathons, and they're just like essentially codeathons, where people come in and just write some code and maybe build some new features. You know, and Netflix and other companies, they put out these rewards for, you know, figuring out and on making their algorithms better. But what we don't hear a lot about is, you know, spending time breaking apart and giving a bounty for, you know, finding flaws in standards and certification and security. And you think that companies would want more and more now that we hear more and more in the wild about all of these reports about flaws and exploits. And so I'm wondering if is that something that you'll see that would be a good thing for students to start doing, is start looking into maybe having these kind of competitions and reporting back to corporations and maybe other people who are developing the standards.
Yeah. The reality is, you know, I'm sorry, the bottom line is a lot of this probing is expensive. So Mu Dynamics sadly got bought. They actually had an automated way, you know, some appliance that allow you to go and run the library of cert attacks, and then it would also fuzz those attacks to see how well devices could handle, you know, 0-day. Very, very cool. It made it a lot more affordable to do testing. We need things like that. We need toolkits and so forth. You know, I think it's time to go have Mudge on. You know, Raphael Mudge has a great toolkit on doing penetration testing. I think that's the bottom line. More people need to learn how to do this so that we can drive the price down so it becomes affordable, because the bean counters aren't going to do it unless it's affordable. And, you know, that's why one of the things I was trying to do is I was actually trying to get a grant from NIST to spin up an institute that just does this type of stuff, you know, an underwriter laboratory for security devices. Oh, what a concept.